Hey guys, welcome to the review and results show for the February 8th, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite. My name's Dan and I review each and every AEW show. That's everything from Dark Elevation to all of their pay-per-views, so if you missed the show and you want a quick recap, or you enjoy everything and you just want a place to talk all things AEW, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, that notification bell, because always I let you see future reviews that I do, but also allows others to find my channel. Without any further ado, let's get to the review. The show kicked off with the championship eliminator match with MJF going up against Konosuke Takeshita, and this match was even better than what I was expecting, and I was expecting a lot here. MJF was so good at antagonizing the crowd, but even when he did all that, he still got the "Let's go Maxwell, Maxwell sucks" chants. I absolutely loved that. That was great. He worked over one of Takeshita's arms throughout the match to, of course, set up for Salt of the Earth later on in the match. But before that, he was taking just about every single low road he can think of. Thumb to the eye, just about everything behind the ref's back he did. And I say this every time I see him, whether he's cutting promos or whether he's in matches. We get to see a lot of him on this show. He's fantastic as the heel in and outside of the ring. He's about as perfect as he can be. We'll get into more stuff that he did later on throughout the show. And then as far as the rest of this match is concerned, you have Takeshita, who looked pretty good on the other side of this as well. They clearly see a lot of good stuff in him. Maybe a future world championship title reign at some point throughout his career. He has such great hard-hitting moves. Those kicks were absolutely brutal. He even had a great tribute to Eddie Guerrero when he went up to do the Frog Splash. He did one of these. Great time to do it, especially considering that they're in El Paso, Texas. And then he did a tombstone into a deadlift German suplex. I've seen him do this on Dark Elevation. Such a great spot. It's always super fun. Then later on, you had the thrust kick, and then the exchange of elbows to the face from both men, really just fighting each other at that point. Takeshita really did look like he was going to win with getting that knee strike in there, but MJF got his foot on the bottom rope. MJF would then capitalize a little later on with all the work he did on his arm. As I said, Salt of the Earth locked in, and Takeshita does tap out. He does continue to go after him after the match, but since this time, Bryan Danielson making the save on Takeshita. Holy crap, what an opener. We then saw a video package from Samoa Joe, basically putting over Darby Allin, which I love. I always love when heels or babyfaces put over their opponents. Makes when they beat them, or since he already beat him, just that much more impactful. And then, of course, proceeded to talk a whole lot of trash to Wardlow for their upcoming match. This was short, this was sweet, reminds everybody where this feud's going, gives a reminder of this match is going to be coming sometime soon. Back to the ring, and this time it's another championship eliminator match with Jamie Hayter going up against the Bunny. And to the surprise of no one, Jamie, super over with the crowd. Everyone loves Jamie. I love Jamie. She's fantastic. But you also got to give the Bunny her due. Just like the Butcher and the Blade, they're all incredibly, incredibly underrated with how much they can do in the ring and how great they are at putting other people over. It's about time. Maybe about time that somebody puts them over. That would be nice to see. But in this match, it was great. There was a lot of back and forth. They're really beating the hell out of each other throughout this match. There was a bit of a scary point, though, unfortunately, which felt like it led to the finish when the Bunny took a move. Almost looked like she landed right on the top of her head, or maybe just like on her forehead. I don't really want to go back and watch it, but it didn't look great. Ended up leading to a Hayter raid for Jamie Hayter as she picks up the win with it. I really do hope the Bunny's okay wearing this shirt for her, because I don't really have an actual Bunny shirt. So I really do hope she's okay, and hopefully we get to see more of the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny on AEW TV. Continuing on from that, we have Renee standing with Toni Storm and Saraya as they talk about the AEW women in the locker room all being losers and poor Leva Bates in the wrong place at the wrong time, get absolutely beat up by both of these women. I do enjoy where this is going. They're kind of doing the whole Mean Girl sort of thing, and still doing the whole outsiders of AEW versus the AEW originals. Still wondering where exactly Ruby is going to fall in this, whether we're going to get that fantasy book match that I've been seeing everybody doing, blood and guts of the originals versus the outsiders, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Then we go backstage where Lexi's trying to get in a word from MJF, and this is probably the one promo out of all the promos on this show that we're going to be talking about. It may not be for the right reasons. He tells a very elaborate story about this girl he had a crush on in high school, who he said for legal purposes is named Liv, and everyone's connecting Liv Morgan to it. She probably doesn't even know what the hell's going on. But he had a crush on this girl, and he was driving along with her, and she was performing certain things on him while that was happening, and he ended up getting into a car wreck, and then him being just absolutely despicable, switches spots with him so he wouldn't get in trouble. So I get it from the aspect of him being a despicable scumbag. He definitely accomplished that here. He even called himself a scumbag at the very end of this. But this also felt very weird, considering what happened a couple of weeks ago to Jay Briscoe. And I'm sure he got the okay from it. I'm sure that's not an issue, but it feels a little too soon, especially when you're going to have Mark Briscoe on Rampage talking about some stuff. Not sure what exactly he's going to be talking about. Not sure if they're setting up some sort of program with him and MJF somewhere down the line. I don't really know. And I'm not even sure if this is even real outside of the fact that MJF did post a picture of that same car that he was talking about on Twitter when he was in high school. So I'm not really quite sure what else to make of this. You guys will have to let me know down in the comment section below. Back to the ring, and this time it's the Garcia and Guevara Gauntlet. First up for Ricky is Angelo Parker, and at first it looked like this was going to go for a little while, but then Ricky out of nowhere hits a spear for the 1, 2, 3. Then Matt Menard gets quickly rolled up for the 3. And then we have Daniel Garcia come out, and right behind him is Sammy Guevara, and Garcia is a bit confused because we're not really sure who it's going to be, but in reality, it was just a distraction tactic. It's what the JAS do, lots of distraction tactics, outside interference, which was kind of the theme of this match, because as soon as Ricky got control of this match, a fan who was very, very clearly Chris Jericho ended up hitting Ricky Starks, gets thrown into the ring for the 1, 2, 3. I'm not really quite sure why the commentators were just so dumbfounded as to who it could have been, especially since it was a Judas effect. Hopefully this feud, because it looks like it's going to go to at least Revolution. I hope it stops there and he can have other feuds with other wrestlers before his eventual title reign once he takes it from MJF. Backstage once again, and this time Renee is standing with both Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed, and Billy's like, look, I'm gonna stay backstage, guys. You go out there, you go handle your business. And Max says that we got this, but when Anthony goes to say something, it seems a little bit delayed, almost like he has like a very bad feeling of something's going to happen later on in the night. Maybe sort of telegraphing something that's going to happen later on in tonight, but more on that in a bit. Renee, being a very busy woman on Dynamite, is now interviewing Danielson before his match, and then out of nowhere we see a door slam and it being locked clearly by Jose the assistant and Preston Vance, who want that MJF money because they're going to get a whole crap ton of it if he doesn't have to face him at Revolution. And we see Roosh come down the ring, then MJF follows right behind him, trying to get Aubrey to count quicker to 10, but Danielson, we see, break through the door, run over Jose the assistant and Preston, and is actually able to make it before the count of 10. But as soon as he enters, he just absolutely gets his butt kicked here. His face was a crimson mask, and even his chest was so red. He took one hell of a bump where he was thrown to the outside from the edge of the ring. Absolutely brutal stuff all the way around here. You had MJF on commentary being an absolute dick, and Danielson doing what he does best, being the underdog babyface as only he can. And then you had a little bit later on a very incredible exchange that led to the finish of this match. You need to go out your way and see it. But it is Bryan who hits Roosh with the Psycho knee and he gets the win here. He will be facing MJF at Revolution. And speaking of him, again, he gets involved after the match, going right after that left arm, putting the salt of the earth on him. Has to be broken up by security, even though security didn't really do too much good, and it was too little too late anyway. This was fantastic. I am fully invested in this. After that, we go backstage where this time Tony Schiavone is standing by with the Impractical Jokers, and they were talking about how much of a diva Chris Jericho is. and they figured that they would play a joke on him, end up stealing Floyd, stealing his bats, I guess to get more people to tune in to their show when that airs. I know I'm not going to because that show really isn't for me, but you guys will have to let me know how that goes. It's Trios time as the Elite are defending their Trios championships against AR Fox and Top Flight, and this match was absolutely everything I could expect from these 6 guys and more. You had super kicks, chops, Spanish flies, AR Fox delivering cutters to just about everybody in every single way possible. You had him doing top rope topes to everybody. I mean, he really took control of this match at one point. Then you had Dante avoiding moves as only he can. You had Matt Jackson doing his Northern Lights suplex and doing it in such a way where it looked like he pinned all 3 of his opponents at the exact same time. I mean, I always love his Northern Lights suplex. I always love when he does it because it's always super creative and it's so fun to see just how creative he gets with them. Then you had just later on to where there was just so many spots. I mean, I could literally talk about this match all day if I really wanted to, but we need to move on to the end of this match here, where it's such an incredible exchange between AR Fox and Kenny. It looked like Kenny was going to hit the one-winged angel on him, but did a hell of a reversal where I thought, oh my god, are they going to do a title change here? But then Kenny does a crucifix spin for the win. Fantastic match. Go out of your way to watch this one. This was an absolute blast as the Elite are still Trios champs. After a quick video package hyping up Hook, we transition into a backstage interview with Lexi talking to Stokely Hathaway about there potentially being some cracks within the firm, and as soon as she mentions that, we get this great picture right here with the fantastic facial expressions from Stokely Hathaway. I love it so much, but he ends up blaming all of their problems onto Hook, and in walks in Hook, grabs his arm and does it in such a way to where even Lexi is a little concerned for Stokely, and he basically says, look, you need to be cautious about those words, implying the fact that he's going to hurt him the next time he says something, which makes me think we're going to be continuing this feud between the firm and Hook. I'm okay with this because I'm a huge fan of everybody involved. Main event time, as it's the Acclaimed defending their tag team titles against the GUNNS. And as with all of Max's raps, we gotta talk about it. I gotta tell you guys exactly what he said. He first said that they would still win if there were 4 of y'all. You'll never finish us like the border wall. Then said you aren't going to get the title soon. We're going to shoot you down like a spy balloon. Then said something in Spanish. I don't know what he said because I don't really know any Spanish. But it was clearly the perfect time as the crowd understood everything that he said. Got a great reaction. So it must have been something good. Then the match was pretty solid for most of it. You had the Acclaim taking control in the very early going. The GUNNS then would take control in the picture-in-picture break. You had Bowens, who would become a one-man wrecking crew, taking out both of the GUNNS at one point, and eventually everybody would be laid out, including himself. The ref even got laid out when Bowens was trying to clothesline Austin. Austin pulled him in the way. I always cringe when this sort of thing happens, because you kind of can see where this sort of thing leads to. You have Billy come out as Austin tries to grab one of the titles. Billy actually protects Anthony Bowens in this spot. It looked like he was going to go after him, but nope, he throws him right out of the way and then ends up getting hit from behind from Colton with the other title belts. You had later on to where it looked like the Acclaimed was going to get the win here, hitting the mic drop onto, I believe it was Austin. Yeah, it was Austin. And they were trying to get the ref back into the ring, only for the ref to be pulling back out again. And then Bowens then tries another roll-up and then gets thrown into a title belt from Colton. And Austin rolls him up for the 1, for the 2, for the 3. The GUNNS are the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. It wasn't the way I was thinking it was going to go. I don't hate them. I just not a huge fan of this finish. For one, it's a very sour way to send the fans home. I mean, I get it. They're taping Rampage after this. But you had the fans chanting, "This is bullshit" at one point, because the show ended up going off the air a little bit after the match was over. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see where this goes. Do the Acclaim get their titles back? Does FTR get involved and maybe they have a triple threat at Revolution? I could see myself maybe getting excited for that, but as I said, We'll just have to wait and see. That was AEW Dynamite. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. You should really go out of your way to watch this entire show, but if I had to pick a few matches for you guys to check out, certainly that Rush versus Danielson match, and MJF versus Takeshita for story purposes, and that Trails match was absolutely a blast. With that said, if you did enjoy this review, please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring notification bell, because not only does that let you see future reviews that I do, but also allows others to find my channel. So thank you guys once again for checking this out, and thank you guys for being all elite.